Number 1, everything you could ever want to teach has already been taught by some middle-aged white guy on YouTube. Let's say this is your to-do list for today. Teach people how to draw heads. So you head on over to YouTube to see if there are any tutorials good enough to steal the reference. And you quickly realize that YouTube is pretty much just filled with a bunch of middle-aged white guys reteaching what other middle-aged white guys used to teach, but now on the internet. And at this point you may be thinking, with all of these amazing resources on YouTube, if you don't know how to draw a head, it's kind of your problem. Why do I need to teach this? But then you remember, originality is dead, I'm being contracted to do this, and if these dudes can just reteach material that's been out there for like 100 years and get millions of views for it, why can't I? Get inspired. Number 2, if you talk like you mean it, people will believe what you say, regardless of if it's actually pertinent information or even remotely intelligent. This is something I learned from extroverts. Number 3, being perceived is one of life's greatest inconveniences. Number 4, you will need to learn how to handle fame. And now, a reading, brought to you by the comments under a Facebook ad of my class. What if I don't want to learn a lazy anime style? Then get lost from a public post. From the course, no one is making you take it. Dude, don't call any artist or style lazy. If you want to learn another style, then look for a different class. No point of insulting something that has years of work put into it. Being around it for a year, I see that it's super tough. Keep your head up. And you're welcome. Yeah, it's not easy stuff. Thank you for your thoughts. Have a good one. I saw the banner on your Avi and looked at your profile. Sorry for your agony. My GF has 3, lupus, fibro, and rheumatoid. She is struggling to claim disability and needs insurance. Oh, thank you. I wasn't really sure if I was allowed to have an opinion, so your permission has really lifted a weight off my shoulders. But yeah, in response to your question, if you don't want to learn certain styles of drawing, then you have my permission to not learn them. I hope that helps. Have a nice day. No, this is a public forum. I asked a question. You are allowed your opinion of my question though. Pause. After some closer investigation, I realized that this previous conversation was supposed to be read backwards to forwards. So if you want to make any sense of it at all, I suggest watching the previous clip backwards. Hope that helps. Number 5. Talking is a good way to make time pass. What you talk about isn't necessarily that important. What is important is that words are coming out of your mouth and going into someone else's ears. Just like this segment here. I find that a lot of talking, a lot of informational videos tend to go through one ear and out the other. I get the impression that people put on smart sounding podcasts to fill up the silence in their own heads, to make them feel like they're thinking smart thoughts and feel like they're being a little bit productive, but really nothing is actually happening up there. And so when you say smart things to a microphone, of course there's some people who are going to be listening very carefully and taking notes, but the rest of the audience, like 99% of the audience, is going to be kind of using you as white noise. And that's perfectly fine if you know that you're doing that, right? But if you think you're doing smart things and you think you're getting more cultured or educated by watching someone's tutorial on YouTube or listening to their podcast, it's not happening. And I really think there's nothing wrong with seeking out entertainment. There's a place and time for that. My problem kind of lies with the economy that informational videos and advice slash tutorial-like content has on the internet of being valuable, when in reality, most of the quote-unquote teachers online are actually just content creators. And of course, these people will range from just like hobbyists trying to share some fun and quick tips with whoever's going to watch their video, to actual educators who have taught in university, who have credentials making videos on YouTube for whatever reason. They're creating content for ad revenue and to gain fan loyalty, and that content so happens to be educational. And the part of me that is not super cynical also acknowledges that yes, people will start making helpful videos, tutorials, because they genuinely want to help people. But that is also driven by the motive and the perspective where we see that there's kind of a shift happening where there's a growing need in the market because people are starting to realize that art school is not really all that's cracked up to be. It's not worth it. It's too much money. And art is starting to become more and more visible as a career online. Animation artists are becoming very visible. Independent art creators, artists are just becoming a lot more visible online. So lots of people are seeing that as a possibility for a career now. And so lots of people are starting to go online to learn art. And so now there's a huge market for educational art resources online. And content creators who create helpful content are just capitalizing on that. And that might seem like a really obvious thing to state, but when you look at it from the other side, as a content creator, like myself, I'm the person who created the class, right? I'm the person who is creating this video right now. I have a lot of choices. I could choose to make this video entirely educational and kind of market and present it as something that is going to help enlighten you or teach you something new. But then I start to feel bad, you know? Because on the other side, as the consumer of educational content on the internet, I know that I only seek those things out to feel like I'm passively learning something when I'm actually just not. So I don't really want to do that to people necessarily. I might do it. We don't really know the future of this channel yet, but I just wanted to make it clear right now that helpful content really is just content in the end. Maybe I should give some examples just so you know what kind of things I'm talking about. Honestly, it ranges from just like super small videos like 10 tips to get noticed on social media, or your drawing hands wrong, or how to pose a character, or how to draw a head, or like 3 things you need to know about character design, or like 5 tips for students going into the animation industry. These are just things I'm thinking about from the top of my head that are like, sure, they are helpful, they're tips, it's a like compilation of little pieces of advice, but how many people who click on the video are actually going to remember what you say? And how many of the people who click on the video click on it because they genuinely think they're going to learn something, versus people who click on it with the intention of wasting time, the intention of being entertained, but in their heads they think that this is more productive than like straight up entertainment. When in reality, there's really no difference between brainless entertainment and the video you just watched, because the effect and the result is the same. You came away from it having passed some time. You didn't necessarily gain any skills from it. You didn't gain any new knowledge. You're going to forget what you just watched by the time you click on the next video. Now, if I were to give an example of someone who resides in this sort of space, but is aware of the meta surrounding it and takes advantage of it, it would be Ethan Becker. When you click on his videos, you're under no misconception that it's going to be entertaining. That's how it's marketed. In fact, it's so marketed that way that you don't expect there to be any insightful content in there whatsoever. But he does manage to sneak in some helpful content in each video. And I'm not ragging on the people who present their videos as like helpful or tips or advice, because it really is. I'm just saying the entire culture surrounding it is like, you should really just reflect on you. Okay, and cut. Good. We're at 10 minutes. Perfect. Number 6, having nothing to say is also okay because you'll edit that part out. Number 7, good students will do all the hard work for you. Number 8. Don't overlap your class production schedule over finals month, during which you had a 3D character animation, final painting, final essay, and group game project due, resulting in a workload so monstrous you couldn't even comprehend how to tackle it, so you downloaded Hades and spent an entire week not working on finals nor making any videos but getting very good at romancing Thanatos. Number 9. If you have a problem, say something. If you have a question, ask. If you have deadlines, meet them. If your producer says you can't put copyrighted content in your videos, just do it and then ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness. If your producer says you can't put copyrighted content in your videos, just do it and then ask for forgiveness. I can't do it at that pace. If your producer says you can't put copyrighted content in your videos, just do it and then ask for forgiveness later when it's too late to take it out. Outro. Okay, honestly I didn't expect to end the video there, but since we made it to 10 minutes, I really want to end it as soon as possible because I've honestly watched this thing about 50 times and I would really like to move on with my life.